Good evening and welcome to the south of France. We've now travelled to Marseille ahead of a big weekend here of quarter-final World Cup action. We'll have Wales, Argentina and England taking on Fiji. Now in terms of England, they've already made it down here to the south of France and their test week has begun. It was confirmed last night that England will indeed face Fiji in that quarter-final. England travel here 4 from 4 so far, so very happy with that result, but definitely some questions lingering following their performance over Samoa. Now they did squeeze a win over Samoa, but it was a tough game. England really pushed in that, and they know that they're going to have to be better as they look ahead to this match with Fiji. Questions now around Borthwick's selections for this quarter-final. He'd gone with Ford at 10, Farrell at 12, with Marcus Smith coming off the bench as a late replacement for Freddie Stewart, who was then moved on to the wing. It'll be interesting to see whether he does that again, or actually we'll see further changes in that England midfield and what that might look like. But definitely Fiji to provide a really tough test. They beat England at Twickenham 6 weeks ago for the first time in their history. Now many had been hoping to see England boss Steve Borthwick come face to face with the old England boss Eddie Jones with his Australian side. That is definitely not happening now. As I say, that Fiji result means that Australia are going home, so it's the end of the road for the Wallabies. The first time in their history that they've not made the knockout stages of a Rugby World Cup. So we'll be with the England camp throughout the week building up to that one. In terms of Wales, they'll travel down to the south of France tomorrow. And James Cole has been hearing about what's going on inside the Wales camp.
Thanks, Ellie. Yes, Wales are going to base themselves 35 miles up the Côte d'Azur here in Toulon. Not bad digs as they prepare to take on Argentina. They got a few injuries in the camp though, have Wales. Gareth Anscombe, their fly half, injured his groin in the warm-up against Georgia. He looked in a lot of discomfort. Liam Williams left the stadium on crutches. Talupe Faletau has been ruled out of the World Cup with a broken arm, and Wales have called up a scrum half in Kieran Hardy. From the camp though, the news seems positive in terms of those injuries. Hugh Bennett was speaking earlier today from Versailles.
The boys are recovering well. Liam was obviously, he was noted on crutches after the game, but that was just precautionary. And Gareth obviously upsetting to make a last minute call, but he's recovering well.
Will they be available for the quarter-final, would you suggest?
As far as I'm aware, everyone's available for selection. Argentina, they're a big physical team, passion. They got some X-factor players as well. It's something obviously the guys we look into already. I feel like they're not dissimilar to some of the teams we played against on the build-up, but they will bring a bit more as well. So we know we've got to be on point there. We talk about their physicality, but one strength of ours has been our physicality as well. So it's a challenge in that aspect of the game we'll be relishing.
Ireland also have some injury problems as they prepare to take on New Zealand in Paris. Their lock, James Ryan, appears the most serious. He has a wrist injury and he's seeing a specialist. The hope is he won't need to go home. There's better news in terms of their wingers. James Lowe and Mac Hansen are making good progress, while Robbie Henshaw and Keith Earls are also in contention for that quarter-final. A repeat of the quarter-final 4 years ago in Tokyo, and remember, Ireland have never got past the World Cup quarter-finals.
So James Ryan is seeing a specialist, and we are hoping for better news than originally anticipated. Mac Hansen took a bang to his calf, but is improving, and both him and James Lowe are making good strides.
I still think they're world-class thing. I think the view is different on ourselves. You know, as Irish people, we can lack a lot of confidence and be, I suppose, a small bit too humble at times. You know, we've done an awful lot of work on ourselves, and the coaches have done a lot of work on getting us to believe that we can play a certain brand of rugby that can make us compete with anyone in the world. So I think that's the most important thing for us, was, I suppose, getting us to start believing in ourselves, the rugby that we can play. You know, if we get it right on any day, which we've shown over the last number of years, that we can compete and beat most teams.
The whole of France breathed a collective sigh of relief earlier as Antoine Dupont was given the all clear by his surgeon to be available to face South Africa in their quarter-final. Remember, Dupont fractured his cheekbone 18 days ago. It looked like France's World Cup hopes were over, but he's had a plate put inside and he's been given the all clear to play against South Africa. A huge boost, a huge player, a talisman for France, and for many people, the best rugby player on the planet will be available for France next weekend.
Well, I mentioned that England will play Fiji this weekend, but there was a moment last night where it looked like Australia was still in it. I found two former Wallabies to chat to about it, and Drew Mitchell and Matt Gitto. I mean, what were you thinking when you were watching Fiji-Portugal?
Yeah, I mean, Gitz and I were watching it last night just at home, and I didn't think going into it there were any chance. And then, I mean, the Portugal side, they just played, like an amazing game. And there were moments there that they gave us hope, but it was almost false hope in the end. It was great to see them get the win, but what we needed was the 8-point win. We didn't get it, so our guys are on the plane on their way home. But, I mean, credit to Portugal for the win, but also credit to Fiji to put themselves in that position.
How disappointed are you to see Australia leave the competition at this point?
I was probably more disappointed a week ago. As Drew touched on, we didn't think there was much hope. I thought Fiji would probably win well, but the Portuguese, they've just shown how much they've improved throughout the tournament. These Tier 2 nations, they've been putting in some great performances. So from that point of view, really excited for the growth of rugby, in the world. But as an Australian, obviously disappointed to miss out on the finals.
And also, you're looking ahead to a home World Cup as well in a few years' time.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's going to be exciting, and that's something we've got to look forward to. We've got the British and Irish Lions visiting also in 2025, and there's this long plan about, getting this young squad and giving them experience to be ready for 2027. That hopefully we've got to just trust that is the plan, and we're going to be there supporting our home team in our home World Cup, and they'll hopefully go a lot better than they did this World Cup.
Now, for the rest of this World Cup, you've obviously got your T-shirt on, you're out here, you're doing your podcast. Australia might be out, but the pod continues, right?
The pod continues. You've got to keep going. You give the people what they want. This is just very random. We just finished filming the pod, so I don't normally self-brand like this all the time. So, yeah, it's been good fun. Obviously, just to talk rugby, a special tournament like the Rugby World Cup, just to be able to mix with your mates and talk rugby, it's been really special.
Everyone's saying that Fiji is everyone's second favourite team. I wonder who you guys are going to get behind now that Australia are out?
Yeah, well, look, Fiji play an exciting brand of footy. I mean, they're easy to like. The supporters, the people of Fiji are really nice people, and they just love their rugby, but also love life. And so it's hard to kind of go against them. We'd love for them to kind of go really deep in this World Cup. I'd like to say my heart's with Fiji, and then also I think the French will also do pretty well.
Can we get a prediction for who's going to win the World Cup?
If I knew, I wouldn't be standing here. I'd be betting on that. But it's pretty tough. I think really tough. I think if this wasn't an English channel, I'd say I'd go for anyone but England. But for this, I just.
But it is.
So I just hope that there are no injuries. We have all the best players playing, being available, and the tournament continues to be as great as it is.
Okay, guys, well, I mean, have fun really, because that's all that's left for you guys to do now is to enjoy yourselves.
Yeah, I mean, we've been having fun, so it's just about limiting the fun, I think.
Not too much fun. Okay, thanks so much. But from an England perspective, it's all looking ahead to England-Fiji this weekend, where the real serious stuff, the knockout rugby, begins.